Look, they call him Coach Loggins. Born and raised, he from Chi-Town. Spreading love to the East Coast, it's a rap now. The game's over, it's winning season, I should've told you. Coach Loggins, the winning team, is the takeover.
Hey guys, Coach Loggins here, coming to you with episode 7 of the All the Way Up podcast. Boy, today, it's been a great month, it's been a great year, and you know what? We're gonna continue to make it great and make you great. I want everybody to be great. My goal is to help people every day and make you better. And the whole purpose of the podcast is to show everybody, once again, the trials and tribulations of being successful and the challenges that normal, everyday people face. But before I get into that, I want to thank my audience and my people for following me and the support. Don't forget, like me, Coach Loggins 128, subscribe and follow Coach Loggins 128. Daniel Loggins on TikTok, Felix Loggins on Facebook. We're also going to be airing our episodes all on the ATV network, Apple TV. Let me make sure I got the list here right. ATV network, Apple TV, Roku, and Fire. And then shortly after that, I'm going to get into something, but Netflix has been reaching out, and I don't even need to go any further than that, but that's my surprise for future episodes. And then we got, Rob, we got our spring-summer show that's going to be out on the ocean. We're going to be talking about on the water, by the beaches and stuff like that, having fun. Hopefully it's not while we're working too much. But today in episode 7, number one, I got a couple quotes I want to get into. And the biggest thing that we're going to talk about is we're going to continue to carry forward on what I was discussing on episode 6, which is the trials and tribulations in my career moving forward and advancing forward. And the things that I had to go through to do it, and the things that you're going to have to go through to be successful. You're not just going to wake up one day and all of a sudden be successful and your bank account's full of money. It just doesn't work that way. Nobody gives any money. But what I can tell you guys is this. If it don't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. I'm going to say that one more time. And sense can be spelled 2 different ways. S-E-N-C-E or C-E-N-T-S. If it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. So if it's not helping you be better, and it's not helping you be successful, and you don't have people around you to be successful, and the people around you aren't motivating you to be successful or not pushing you to be better, you need to cut them out of your life, period, end of story. You don't need that. I always say to people, hope you had fun at the nightclub this weekend. Oh, yeah, they did. I had fun dropping my money off at the bank because that's what I do. I don't care about what's going on out there. I got plenty of time to do that later. Listen, none of that means anything to me. Providing for my family, being successful, making sure my kids go through college, making sure that I can provide them with all the things I didn't have, and I can provide you people and all of you great people with things that you've never had, which is this, because people got to pay for this kind of stuff, but I don't charge. I'm not charging. I don't plan on charging. So remember that. If it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. You can say it however you want. That could be a song. And then I got another good one that I found, and then I was looking at. Think about this. Keep your face always towards the sun, and the shadows will fall behind you. Keep your face towards the sun, and the shadows will fall behind you. Everything's better behind you. You can't drive a car looking in the rearview mirror. You need to look straight ahead at all times. That's what we're talking about. Focusing straight ahead of what you're doing and staying focused on that. Okay? And then one more, and then we're going to drive into this session and tell you what happened after episode 6, which you guys got to watch. Attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference. Attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference, because follow me. If you have a bad attitude, your success is going to be little. If you have a bad attitude, your paychecks are going to be little. If you have a bad attitude, your circle of people is going to be big with bad people. You keep your circle small, you keep your attitude great, and everything is bigger. You get to enjoy yourself. We left off on the last episode of I had advanced into general management, and I had 2 dealerships at this time that were very successful. So everybody knows, just going back, I started in sales, and I worked my way all the way up to finance, to sales manager, to finance director, then to GM, and then to a regional manager. So those 2 dealerships that I had prior, I was talking to somebody and we went back and forth. Long story short was I got bored with those 2 dealerships, and bored was working 50 hours a week. I want you guys to understand I was bored at 50 hours. There wasn't enough for me to do because we were successful and we kept growing and growing, and we were growing well. But I wanted more. I like taking broken things and fixing them, broken businesses and fixing them. I like helping people, customers, when they're broken and they need help. When their car is broken and they need help and they need direction, it's really simple. Even if I got to look on Google to help them, I will. So I got bored. And I met this person, and this person in this company, they owned about 88 to 95 dealerships. They owned a bunch of dealerships. And people that are on this, that are watching this, and people that are on TikTok and then streaming on Instagram and YouTube are going to know this, because the job opportunity was in St. Louis. Well, I was living in Chicago at this time, running 2 dealerships and driving to them, and I wanted a challenge and an opportunity to be successful. In my last episode, I talked about when you advance forward in a company, 9 times out of 10, you take 2 steps forward, 2 steps backwards to take 10 steps forward. And every time I've gotten promoted, my paychecks went down but ended up higher than they had ever been. So I had the general manager position. I ended up going to this bigger company, and I was trying to get a little time before I started, but I went to a bigger company and I talked to these people, and I had an opportunity to work at some stores in a couple different states, and I had never ran more than 2 dealerships. I was young in the business, and I had an opportunity to run 7 dealerships in a struggling market and a struggling economy with struggling people and struggling employees. There was no good formula for this company that I went to. But I knew that if I was the worst in the list of people, of 88 people, whatever the number was, right, 100, I knew the only place to go was up. If I just increased it 1% day over day, 1% year over year, at 1% better day over day, I'd be 365% better at the end of the year. So I took this opportunity. Next thing you know, I'm flying on an airplane down to St. Louis. I said I wanted the biggest opportunity. Flew down to St. Louis. I visited these stores. They were in shambles. They were dirty. The employees were doing what they wanted. Nobody would help anybody. I mean, it was just an absolute, if it was anything, it was like troubled children that had no guidance working in these stores. I want to say we had approximately 285 employees at this time, and this is now 2018, just so people can use a timeline. This is now 2018. The stores as a whole was losing about $3 million a year. Losing. Total. Nissan store, Hyundai store, Honda store, all these stores. Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Kia store, all these stores, and they're losing money combined, all these stores. So I'm like, if I can just get this number from here to here, I'm going to make this much. And listen, I worked out an okay pay plan, but I knew that if that pay plan, I knew what I was capable of doing at 1 store. I knew what I was capable of doing at 2 stores. If I could just emulate that at 7 stores, I was like, oh my goodness, I can make all the money and do the best that I can. So I go down there, and I was told there was one thing, it was another. I get down there, and when I tell you it was a mess, organizational culture is a reason why people leave companies. They quit because of their supervisors don't treat them well or acknowledge them or listen to them. The communication is terrible in a company. You could have great benefits in a great company, and people think it's bad because the management team does not communicate it and push it forward. So I knew that I had to get in there, and the biggest thing that I had to do was engage people in what? A process. So I said, you know what? Let's get these stores. Let's figure it out. So I relocated my family and moved them. So those that know, St. Louis is about 5.5 hours by car south of Chicago. You can get there by airplane in 45 minutes. And you know what? St. Louis is kind of a centrally located area. Everybody thinks of St. Louis because they don't know about St. Louis. Listen, guys, it's not as bad as, listen, there's great people that live there. And it's a great area. And you got Boeing, the manufacturer. You got MasterCard there. You got Fortune 500 companies that's bigger than it's ever been. The airport just was approved 2 years ago as an international airport. Lufthansa flies in there. So people just don't know. People say, oh, St. Louis. So I said, yeah, I'm going to St. Louis. And I'm going to go down there, and I'm going to take these people, and we're going to win the championship with these people. And that's what we're going to do. And that list that they gave me when we were at the bottom, I said, watch this. We're going to be at the top. And we talked about it, and we tracked it, and we put goals in there, and we put them together. And I told everybody, let's watch, let's do this, let's make it happen. But it's number one is getting your people to buy in. Number two is getting a good culture. Number three is understanding your people and who you live around with. Here, I'm going to tell you about something. And I don't like to get into race, religion, and politics and any of this, but when I went down to St. Louis, the only thing that was talked about was racism. And the dealerships, not on the streets. I'm not talking the streets. In the dealerships, because that's the culture they breed. And I will tell you, there's no color or ethnicity for a bad employee or a bad person. I'm going to leave it at that. And we're going to flip right off that. What I say is a hard worker is a great person. A person that shows up every day is a great person. A person that dedicates to you and gives your company and they show up for you and they don't miss. Don't forget those people. Don't ever forget those people, because part of the thing that when I grew up to the top is I'm a salesperson's manager, and I never forget because I was a salesperson that started with nothing. I will never forget the people that gave me the opportunity. It's what I did with it. You can lead a horse to water, but is he going to drink it? Can you do that? Guys, like me on Instagram. Keep liking me on TikTok. Follow me. We're about to heat this up. So we get into our processes. We get into hiring events. I start structuring a company. I'm working 80 hours a week. I start building a panel around me of people. I hire a photo videographer. The person that is doing this video and this work, Ruger Vision, Rob Ruger. I hired him in the heart of the pandemic at the very start. Before the nation shut down, I hired him a month before, and I said, corporate said I shouldn't be hiring anybody, but I said, Rob, I know the world is going to shut down, and I know that we are going to have to reach people via television, internet, and video, and that was exactly what we did. I was ahead of it because I watched what was going on. I watched the other states shut down. This state shut down. California shut down first. Then this next thing, Illinois, it's attached to Missouri. And I knew it was coming. And I go, I'm going to hire you, and I'm going to do this anyways. Then I had to hire him. I had to hire a person that was the head of my photo department. I had to hire a guy and train him to be my trainer. I had to hire a corporate HR person. I had to hire a corporate finance director. So I built a panel of people. I had 6 GMs. I had to build a panel of people that could help me execute with these people and build a team. Well, the first 6 months, you can only imagine, I had people quitting on me. I had people leaving. I had people saying, oh, this is BS, and we got to do this, and things are changing. Yeah, they're changing, because what was happening wasn't working. We were the biggest losers in Missouri. We got trash talked about us when we went out, about, to the stores, and the news and all this. Let me tell you something, because this story heats up. It wasn't like that when I was done. And I'm going to tell you how good it was. And I look back with the best memories of that, because I call that home, right? So I hired these people in the panel. I put them together. I put a good training structure together. I trained my managers. Understand, 19 finance managers, right? Understand how many people we had. The group was selling 400 cars a month when I came. 400 cars, those stores. By the time I was done, it was 1,400 to 1,500 cars. I want to say that one more time. that went up 300% in a very short time. How does it go up 300%? Caring about your people, empathetic, enthusiastic, communicating, and truly doing the right thing for people. And I never let money get in the way of me and people. I'd rather take less to give more. So we build our panels, we get our teams together, I build a vision. We have these all-store meetings every month. We recognize our number one employees. We recognize the people that are doing a good job. We say thank you to them when they're doing a good job. We say please when we need something. But at the same time, there's still locker room meetings. Don't get that twisted. It's not all rainbows and all this stuff and everybody's kumbaya. That's not it. We go into the locker room and we're going to have a meeting. You guys ever been in a locker room? No, you probably haven't. But if you've been in a locker room, if you played sports, the conversation in there is not always great. But when we come out of that locker room, we're hugging and we getting ready to hoist that trophy. That's what we're getting ready to do. And I got everybody to support me, and all the people that didn't agree with me in the beginning, I said they gotta go. All the people that didn't want to row in the direction and be a teammate and wanted to be negative in the background and drop pocket fires and all this, I got every one of you. Every one of you were exiled and removed from my company. And you guys know who you are, and you're gonna watch this. That's the crazy part, is you're still following me. And you're going to watch this, and you're going to see this, and you're going to remember that you never were more successful than when you were working with me and next to me in the pit of all pits, and we made it happen. And I'm going to tell you, I got the cancer out. I got the negativity out. I got the bad people out that were stealing and taking gasoline and taking credit cards and taking down payments and taking cars overnight and just doing all this different stuff that they wanted to do. I took care of all of it. I made sure that I acknowledged my people day in and day out when I went through these stores. I made sure that I congratulated them when they had a great month. I made sure that we were on point at all times, and I didn't forget anybody. I knew my employees all by first and last name, and understand that by the time I got done, and I left that onto my next thing, which that's going to be the next episode. I can't tell you what happened after I took 7 stores to the promised land, and we hoisted that Stanley Cup. I'm not going to tell you what happened after that, because I just keep hoisting them with great people. We had such a great team. We had 424 happy employees. Started with 280 selling 400 cars. Went to 1,400 to 1,500 cars with over 400 employees. And here's the best one of them all. 80 to 85% of those people that work for me in St. Louis stayed with me. The people that I brought in, the people that I took under my wing, and even the people that stabbed me in the back. I kept them or got rid of them, because I do forgive people, and I understand they're in bad places. So we took this, and we're winning month over month. We're just going through the processes. I'm promoting within the company, creating a great culture, teaching people how to truly take care of customers and acknowledge people, giving people the fundamentals and the foundation to just be good people. This is where I said attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference, because you know what? You couldn't keep me down. People would try to come to me and say, oh, we had a bad day yesterday. That sucks, huh? I will never say that. Okay, we might have had a bad day, but that was yesterday. You can't drive your car looking in the rearview mirror. You need to look forward. When you guys get an upset customer, it doesn't matter what business you are. Everybody wants to get their emotions involved with an upset customer. They want to go tell their supervisor, this customer sucks, this customer's a bad person, this customer's not buying today, this customer's wasting my time. All they do is complain. Can I ask you guys something? If it wasn't for customers, you wouldn't have a job. So what I always tell people, if a customer's upset, there's one thing I want to teach you today to take with you too. Strong. This is really strong. When a customer's upset, it doesn't matter how upset they are and what level they are. If you are empowered to make decisions like I made my people empowered to make decisions, and you have control of the situation, meaning you can do what's right, the biggest thing I tell a customer or person is, listen, I understand you're upset, and I apologize for you being upset. I can't go back in time and fix what's happened. I try to fix what's happened. I try to take care of what's happening, and I failed at doing that, Mr. and Mrs. Customer. Or my people failed at doing that. So now that we failed at doing it, if you give me the opportunity from this second forward to make it right, I will. And I'm going to tell you, if you tell people that and you're sincere and empathetic and you're caring, and they don't just see you trying to make a buck, they're going to listen to you. And if you sincerely go out of your way to help them, they will buy from you. If you believe in your product and believe in yourself, they will buy from you. The number one thing that people need to understand is this shit I think I can, I know I can. It's not when I reach the top of the mountain, or sorry, it's not if I reach the top of the mountain, it's when I reach the top of the mountain. You know, it's even crazier. The St. Louis story I told you was a span of about 4.5 to 5 years. We grew the business 300 to 400%. We grew the profits. Remember that number I told you of losing millions? Well, we made millions, and I can't tell you that number because that number is just so big, and I don't need to talk about it. But the crazy part is when I left to go on to my next biggest adventure, which you'll hear in episode 7. My next biggest adventure, sorry, episode 8. We're in episode 7 right now. You're going to hear that in episode 8. It went right back down to where it was. And the person I worked for, you know what they told me? They tried to keep me. And they told me that I'll just hire more people to do your job and I'll be able to pay them less. And I said, and you're going to get those results. And that person knows I'm right. And they got those results now. And all those good people that were there are gone. And guys, I'm sorry. I know you watched this. I'm sorry it didn't work out with us in St. Louis. I'm sorry I couldn't hang it out for you the whole time. But here's one thing I'll tell you. You're always welcome to work for me anywhere in the country. Those people that work for me in St. Louis that were with me 3, 4, 5 years, you are always welcome to work for me. But remember this, if I fired you, you're not. So don't ask, because there ain't no do-overs with Dan. So let's make that very clear. I am very forgiving. I work hard with my people, and I reward them accordingly. And I just want to tell you guys, there's so much we can learn from this. What did I talk about today? Number 1 is positivity. Keep your face on the road straight ahead. Stare into the sun so the shadows are behind you. Walk forward so the negativity is behind you. And you can only fix from this point forward. You can never go backwards in time and fix what you're doing. And closing out, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. Coach Loggins, out.
They call him Coach Loggins, born and raised, he from Chi-Town. Spreading love to the East Coast, it's a rap now. The game's over, it's winning season, I should've told you. Coach Loggins, the